que se habían apropiado de las facultades, imponiendo el pensamiento único y la censura.
The American way of life is very simple. I want to be able to get married, buy a home, have kids, allow them to ride their bike until the sun goes down, send them to a good school, have a low-crime neighborhood.
When people stop talking, really bad stuff starts. When marriages stop talking, divorce happens. The relations stop talking, divorce happens. When you stop having a human connection with someone you disagree with, it becomes a lot easier if you want to commit violence against that group. People stop talking with each other because they lose their humanity. What we as a culture have to get back to is being able to have reasonable disagreement where violence is not happening.
That would be the most important thing.
A continuación vamos a despedir a Charlie Kirk como los españoles despedimos a nuestros caídos. Nos mantenemos todos en pie, por favor.
Patriots, good evening. I wanted to be in Madrid with you all tonight, but it would not have been appropriate for me to leave my country at a time like this. Charlie Kirk was my friend. He was only 31. He was America's best and brightest young leader. He was a devoted husband and a loving father to two beautiful children. His passion was working with young people and making the case for traditional American values like patriotism, respect for life, liberty, family, and personal responsibility. He believed that Americans should be able to debate, even when they disagreed. The organization he so bravely founded and led was called Turning Point. I believe that this name is providential, because Charlie Kirk's death must be a turning point, not just for America, but for the whole West. Today we face a choice. It is the same choice that David faced when he fought Goliath, that St. Peter faced on the shores of the Sea of Galilee, that Constantine faced at the Battle of the Milvian Bridge, that those 500 men, led by Don Pelayo, faced in the holy cave of Covadonga, that King Ferdinand and Queen Isabella faced more than 700 years later in 1492 when they completed the Reconquista, that Christopher Columbus faced that same year in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean when he sailed west, either to find land or to plunge over the world's warring rim, that Donald Trump faced when he was shot in Butler, Pennsylvania, and that Charlie faced every time he stepped foot on the college campus. The choice is this: to accept in all its forms and faithlessness civilizational collapse, to cower from our enemies, to retreat from the public square, to deny our God and surrender our inheritance, or to embrace, in all its uncertainty, the battle before us, to put out into the deep and place all our trust in God, to raise a fist in the air, to raise our voice to the mob as Charlie so often did, and insist that we won't be scared into silence. There are no other options. Friends, if we're going to follow in the footsteps of those brave men who came before us, then we must know why they chose to fight. And that is why it is so fitting that we are gathered today, a day many of us celebrate as the feast of the exaltation of the Holy Cross. The cross is the most important symbol in our civilization. It is the supreme sign of God's love for every man and woman. It is the tree of life, blossoming in hope, offering courage in the midst of hardship. It is a reminder that some things are worth dying for, because death is not the end. Charlie made reference to the cross all the time. His faith in the cross is why he was so hopeful for the future. Our enemies want to rob us of that. They want us to accept that what is warped and twisted and depraved is somehow good and righteous and beautiful. They celebrate death and they hate life. They want us to believe that there's nothing we can do. They think these threats of violence will make us give up. In France, it's the cordon sanitaire and arresting their political opponents. In the United Kingdom, it's arresting grandmothers for praying outside of abortion clinics and looking the other way while immigrant gangs assault young women. In Spain, it is the shameless attempt to tear down the largest cross in the world. And in America, it is the countless people online celebrating Charlie Kirk's death and calling for more assassinations. It is also the despicable journalists trying to turn this into an issue of both sides, when the truth is that the bullets are all flying from the same direction. Today, we need to realize that these people, no matter where they are all the same. They are opponents of order, emissaries of violence, but most of them, they are enemies of the true cross. And we need to be clear. Their escalation in violence is not because their influence is increasing or because their power is growing. Quite the opposite. It is because they see good people waking up. They see young men in every single one of our countries choosing to reject their lies and live in the truth. Charlie Kirk is the reason that is happening. Now, the fate of our children, the future of our countries, the destiny of our entire civilization hinges on whether we will carry on his legacy, whether we will devote ourselves to finishing the indispensable work to which Charlie bravely devoted his life and gave his last measure of devotion. So, I say again, the West is at a turning point. The good news is that patriots in every country of Europe, every country of Latin America, and in the United States are prepared to seize this moment. But our work must accelerate and expand now. Let us move forward with the courage, the conviction, and the cheerfulness that our fallen brother Charlie Kirk personified. And remember, we will never surrender.